Good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. It is February 14th, 2026. It's so good to have you on the show today. I just want to say that I heart you. It's really good to be here. It is Saturday. I always like to start the show out with some fun facts about today. Obviously, aside from the fact that today is, of course, Valentine's Day. In today, 1818, Frederick Douglass was born. He was a central figure in the abolitionist movement. It is Black History Month after all, and he became one of the most influential members of American history and a hell of a resistance figure. And he's a really powerful testament to the importance of literacy. Today, in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell and Elijah Gray all applied for the patent for the telephone on the same afternoon, which kicked off a massive legal battle over who actually invented the telephone. And in 1946, ENIAC, the first general-purpose digital electric computer, was demonstrated to the public. It occupied an entire room and could perform thousands of calculations per second, paving the way for the digital age, which then, of course, leads us to where we are now, streaming live on YouTube, Spotify, Substack, TikTok, and several other places I can't think of right now. It's great to have you on the show. It's a good Valentine's Day. A couple of fun other things that happened today. In 2005, 3 former PayPal employees registered the domain for YouTube. What began as just a simple site for sharing videos became the largest global video platform. And here we are. We are streaming on YouTube, by the way, so it's great to see you if you're over there. I think we've got everything kind of kicked off. We've got a simple short show on this Valentine's Day. We'll let you get back to your friends, family, and loved ones if you have not yet purchased something sweet for your significant other. Let me remind you, there's only one day. There's only one Valentine's Day. All right, let's kick it off. Welcome to the Ignition News. On the Ignition News, we like to cover 4 or 5 stories that we think are most important for you to get your day kicked off. We want to give you the news without the amygdala hijack. We want to tell you not only what's happening, but how you take that back into the world to effectively push back against fascism. Let's start overseas today. This one's interesting, and it does tie into something very important. 2 years after Russian leader Alexei Navalny died in an Arctic prison colony, we now have a report from 5 European countries basically confirming what everybody already knew, that Vladimir Putin killed Alexei Navalny. Not just killed him, but he poisoned him with a toxin found in poisoned dart frogs from South America. That is pretty wild, actually. This was the second time, of course, that Putin went after Navalny with poison. In 2020, Russian agents poisoned him with Novichok, a nerve agent. He survived that attempt. He recovered in Germany, and he made the decision to return to Russia anyways. Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about Navalny? Well, this is what happens when you have an authoritarian government which lies, which cheats, and which kills its political opponents. There's a very thin line, my friends, between the difference between Alexei Navalny and René Good. In fact, the difference is that the United States government, this authoritarian government of ours, is apparently willing and brazen to kill out in the open without pretending otherwise. Putin killed Navalny and made it look like it was illness or the long-term effects of being put away in a prison after a fake trial, all these kinds of things, right? Putin made it look like, well, this is what happens when you're a criminal. You go to jail, and sometimes people in jail die. But actually, they killed him with poison from a dart frog. That's insane. And again, I see no line of difference between Alexei Navalny and Alex Predi. I see 0 line of difference. I see a government afraid of its citizens, which is willing to kill them, whether that is killing them on a street, or killing them with a poisoned dart frog in a prison after a fake trial, fake imprisonment. And if you think that that's far-fetched, let's get on to the second story. Good morning and welcome to the Ignition News. If you're first tuning into the show, I need to ask you to do me a favor. Go follow us at theignition.news, where you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Substack, Twitch, all these places. We're in all the places. Let me tell you why Navalny Predi is connected to you. Let me tell you why. We now know that ICE has ignored 4,400 court rulings. Reuters did an investigation that shows that judges have ruled 4,400 times, that this is only since October, by the way, that Customs and Enforcement is detaining people illegally. This is over 400 judges, including judges appointed by Trump, Bush, Clinton, Obama. ICE is breaking the law. ICE has been told to stop breaking the law. ICE continues to ignore judges. Judges, again and again and again, have said this is illegal. You cannot do this. Stop doing this. And we now know that the shocking number, 4,400 times, ICE has ignored court orders. Here's one example. Joseph Thomas, 18-year-old high school student from Venezuela. He was arrested during a traffic stop from Wisconsin while riding with his father on a Walmart delivery route. No warrant. Oh, look at that. I just got a violation on TikTok. Nice. That's incredible. So he was riding with his dad on a Walmart delivery route, and they detained him. TikTok should allow content like mine. That's obscene. Anyways, ICE detention numbers have gone from 39,000 when Trump took office to about 68,000 now. That is a 75% increase. This is the core of the court system that we're talking about. The right to challenge unlawful detention. It emerged in courts in England in the 1300s. And here we are. ICE is illegally detaining 4,400 people. I would just like to take this moment to point out that because how relevant. I have just received a violation on TikTok for spreading misinformation. That is what I have been accused of by the streaming platform owned by Oracle. Now, for telling you the truth, TikTok has decided to give me a violation for, quote, misinformation. And if you don't think there is a direct connection, anyways, story number 3. The President of the United States has decided that he is going to demand voter ID whether it is approved by Congress or not. Yesterday, the president posted that there will be voter ID for midterm elections whether Congress approves it or not. He said if Congress doesn't pass the Save America Act, he'll issue executive orders mandating voter ID, proof of citizenship, and bans on mail-in voting for the November elections. He's saying it right out in the open, folks. He's saying it right out in the open. Are we ready for another violation? Here we go. The President of the United States is now actively and openly interfering with midterm elections. Let me say it again. The President of the United States is actively interfering with midterm elections. I'm trying to get another violation. The President of the United States is actively interfering with midterm elections. With or without Congress. Now, he's saying it out in the open. They're already testing whether or not courts matter. ICE is ignoring court rulings. They're testing if the Constitution even matters. It's just a piece of paper to these people. And if you think Congress is saving you, let's move on to the next story. Congress is fleeing at record numbers. Congressional retirements have hit a modern era record. 60 members of Congress have announced that they're not running for re-election. 51 from the House, 9 from the Senate. They're fleeing Congress. 30 House Republicans are leaving compared to 21 Democrats. In the Senate, 5 Republicans and 4 Democrats are retiring. It seems to me that even the aged members of Congress are starting to realize that the institution is falling apart, and they would rather flee from that institution before face persecution. Perhaps by someone willing to ignore the orders of the courts or the laws of the Congress. Of course, Democrats see this as a sign that Republicans know they're going to lose the House, but perhaps the president realizes this as well. Most of these seats aren't really competitive, just to be very clear with you, but the sheer numbers tell you what I've been telling you now for months. There is an institutional collapse happening in front of us. Congress, the courts, the rule of law, and they are building warehouses, detention centers. Today, TSA agents are working without pay because our government can't figure out how to fund them without holding over the extortion of ICE continuing to terrorize our cities. And so they're saying, well, we would rather you be less safe when you fly. And let me close this out. I'm going to close this out as I close every story, every day lately. They are building concentration camps in America. Right now. They're leasing them. They're putting them together. They're signing paperwork. Concentration camps capable of holding hundreds of thousands of people. Think about that for 1 second. The immigration numbers went from 39,000 to 78,000. They're building warehouses capable of holding several 100,000 people. Several 100,000. They've essentially maxed out their entire capability right now at that number, about 80,000 people. And they're deporting these people. Voluntary deportations are higher than they've ever been. People are actually leaving the country on their own now at a higher rate than in the history of the country ever. And yet, they're building warehouses, American concentration camps, in your backyard. Why? Why are they building concentration camps for people? If they're leaving at record rates, if they're getting on planes and getting in seats and leaving the country, or if they've already maxed out their capacity for ICE to be able to do this, why? Why are they building warehouses? Because maybe they're not building them for immigrants. Did you think about that? They're trying to make it illegal to film ICE agents. They're trying to make it illegal to speak out against the president. You don't think so? Ask Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly they tried to indict Mark Kelly and 5 other congresspeople simply for speaking out, for telling, just like I got a violation for telling the truth. I got a misinformation violation for telling the truth. And they tried to try 6 congresspeople. They tried to indict them for telling the truth. You, as a member of the military, cannot follow an illegal order. So if you don't believe Mark Kelly and you don't believe someone else, maybe believe me. A wise bearded man in a green jacket. You cannot follow illegal orders. You physically can, you mentally can, but if you do, this is what happens. American concentration camps. This is not a matter of theory. This is a matter of math. They've maxed out their capacity to deport people. They don't have more space, more planes, and they don't have more ICE agents. At least not yet. The people they have arrested, I just told you, they've done it illegally, 4,400%, or 4,400 people. That is what? 5% of the people that they have arrested in their operation? That's a staggering amount of illegal arrests. Think about the sheer volume of the illegal arrests. 4,400 illegal detentions since October, and not one person from this government has been held accountable. Not one. They have brazenly raped the Constitution. Brazenly. Just as these billionaires have committed these crimes against these children. Do you see the through line now? Killing people on the streets, destroying the Constitution, illegally arresting 4,400 people. You think that if they can get away with illegally arresting 4,400 people, that they will not arrest you? If that's what you think, I want some of whatever you're smoking or drinking or ignoring. But let me close it out with a different message. A message of hope. I have been blocked. I have been violated on TikTok. And yet, since that violation, my audience size has doubled. Why? Because of the force of our resistance. Because despite algorithms, despite efforts, despite illegal arrests and detention, the American resistance is a weed. It grows where we are not supposed to grow. It grows in the most hostile environments. It grows in places where people say that you cannot grow. Have you ever seen a weed grow through a crack in the concrete? These fascists are delicate little daisies. And we are weeds. We will grow whether there is light or darkness. We will grow if the soil is toxic. We will grow in places where you try to stamp us out. There will be roots of our resistance which live on for centuries. I am an American citizen. I believe in my Constitution, but more than I believe in my Constitution, I believe in my neighbors, and I believe in their capacity to resist, to grow that resistance like a weed, to blow the resistance into the wind, to propagate and to populate 1,000 leaders in 1,000 different communities, unafraid of tyrannical fascists. And you can shut us down here or there or everywhere, but we will resurface like the weed. So remember that. Today, of all days. No matter who you love today, whether that's your wife, your husband, your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your puppy. Number one, love yourself. You've managed to survive through all of this shit. Number two, love your community. Of course, my lawyer has to remind you at the Ignition News, we don't support or condone violence. Number three, love your country. I know that's a shitty thing to say, I think, sometimes when all this terrible thing is happening in our name, in the name of this country, America. God bless America. But I still love my country. I'm not willing to give it up yet. This tyranny grows across this country like a cancer. But we persist. We will save this sick country. We will save this sick place. Our neighbors, we will wake them up. In the hostility and the darkness of American tyranny, we will grow like a weed. That's the show, everybody. It's Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2026. Now grow some resistance. Oof. Wild. This has been today's episode of The Ignition News. Please consider following us on all of your favorite podcast platforms, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, or Substack. We're here to deliver to you unfiltered, uncensored news. Let's get busy with the truth on The Ignition News.